My name is Damali Ssali and I welcome you to this episode of the Ideation Corner. The Ideation Corner is a space where ideas are discussed and dissected. And today I host Ian Muhimbise Rumanyika. Ian is a seasoned communication and marketing specialist. His experience spans over a period of 12 years in public relations and marketing. He holds a Bachelor of Commerce and Marketing from Makerere University and a Master's in Business Administration also from Makerere University. But away from the academics, Ian is the managing director of Node Group. Node Group is a consultancy firm that specializes in multimedia, digital media marketing, research, PR development, strategy development, and training. On the training, he mostly focuses on the PR Fundi masterclasses. And I'm very happy to host Ian on the Ideation Corner today, where he's going to tell us more about it. Ian, very happy to have you here.
I'm excited to be here. What an introduction.
You love the introduction.
Beautiful.
I'm glad you
I'm
like
glad
it.
to be here. Thank you for inviting me. And thank you for putting this together.
Thanks.
Yes.
So, in fact, let's start with the basic. What is the idea behind this setting up of Node Group?
Well, thank you, Damali, and thank you, viewers, for tuning in the Ideation Corner. I'm glad that I'm one of the guests that were invited to be a part of this and to discuss Node Group, but also discuss ideas that will inspire others. Node Group started way back in 2014 after I was doing my master's in 2012 and I finished in 2013. But during that time in 2013, my research paper was based on public relations.
Yeah.
And I wanted to know why departments or agencies or companies actually do not fund public relations functions as they ought to be. And yet, in my understanding, public relations was critical in any business. So my research paper, when I was trying to get information and researching information related to my research paper of public relations, I didn't find so much avenues or platforms to get information from.
I was just thinking about it, your research must have been very difficult.
Yeah, it was so difficult for me that time. I'm glad that now so many avenues of getting information are available. But from then I thought, this is my passion. This is my desire to start a PR firm. It has always been my dream. So I said, I think I need to start a consultancy firm in public relations and marketing, but also not stop at starting a PR and marketing consultancy firm, but create avenue or platform where we can share PR information and ideas. Yes, that's why the PR Fundi comes in. It's one of the training arm of Node Group, and we created that. We formed that because we wanted to make sure that as PR professionals, there is a platform where we come together and discuss solutions to PR issues. Because I realized from then that it was so difficult for me to get information. So that's, and ideas come from challenges.
Yes, it's true. Now you're doing your research, you can't find it.
Yeah. And then I was like, why is this so? And I think from then, when we started Node Group in 2014, it has been, of course, it has been bumpy, but it has been a good start for us. And we've been able to, change the status quo of PR in so many ways. We have had so many clients come our way, especially government agencies. We've tried to make sure that we create relevance of public relations and communication to their business, and to show them that even when you're a CEO, you're a CFO, or you're a salesperson, at a certain point, you need public relations, but also you need communications. And if you don't have that skill, as a CEO, it will be very difficult for you to manage your stakeholders. So yes, the idea came through like that, and we've been at it. Node Group does various activities. It has an arm of research. We do client satisfaction surveys, brand health surveys. Also, at Node Group, we do lots of training in terms of PR and communication, especially customized trainings for corporate companies.
Okay, so you go into the company and then provide the training to their
Yeah,
staff.
to their staff, especially staff that do or deal in public relations, the staff in the PR department or the boardroom, because we've realized that even the people at the board, as I said, CFOs, they need public relations, they need stakeholder engagement, they need client relations, they need to know how to relate with their stakeholders.
So you train the board members, the CEOs, on
Absolutely.
how to manage public relations.
Absolutely. And how do you cluster who is the stakeholder, who is your internal stakeholder, how do you manage employee engagement, how do you manage internal communications, and how do you connect the PR strategy to the business strategy, and how does that then bring you return on investment?
Because most companies, I feel most companies think that PR, communication, whatever marketing is, well, we have a department that does that, and let that department do it.
Yes, and you see, that's where we go wrong, because we find that, in fact, PR, most companies, PR doesn't sit in the boardroom. So you find there's a finance director, there's a marketing director, there's another director.
But not communication.
Not communications. Yeah. And we are saying that, look, everything you do rotates around PR, because who was certain that COVID would come? It is a huge crisis that has affected the way we are doing business. So when a crisis comes, we call in PR in the boardroom and say,
when there's a problem. That is so true.
Issues, but along the way, PR has not been in the boardroom. And as you discuss, PR helps you connect your issues and then proactively deal with the issues so that we don't come to a crisis. So these issues can grow to a crisis. But when PR knows that there are these issues and we can manage them, then we do not have to have a crisis. And if it comes anyway,
you're ready.
Then someone is prepared to deal with it.
And then it also doesn't have to always be PR only comes in when there's a problem.
Absolutely.
It could also the good times, because why should you only appearing in the bad times?
Yes, so the whole philosophy around Node Group is to make sure that we create relevancy, but also we inspire brands to make sure that they include PR and communications and marketing into their business and use it to grow their business. I mean, we use a model called SAT. A business can survive, but also can be alive, and also but can be also thrive.
Okay, so survive, you're alive, you thrive. Okay.
Damali, we at Node Group we have a model called SAT. We believe that especially in our economy here, most businesses or most entrepreneurs struggle with survival. I mean, they live on survival. You survive for 10 years, 20 years. But one business
for 10.
Yes, absolutely. One business is to move on to be alive. After being alive, we want you to thrive. But it is a process. I mean, every time you start a business, it's a process. You're in a survival economy where you have to survive. But at a later stage, we want you to grow and be alive and make sure your ideas come to life, change lives, have an impact, and then thrive. Look at what you have created, grow. Just like you started this, as human beings, we are like plants. You have to blossom and have fruit. Once you start a business, you want also that business to grow from the survival stage, and then that business will be alive and start bearing fruit. When it bears fruit, then that fruit can be something on the table, and then you thrive. So as a human being, when you start a business, you want to support other businesses to make sure that those businesses are inspired to have an impact on what they do.
Because you're in the same ecosystem anyway, so if the more people you're working with are also growing,
absolutely.
in a way you're
also growing and you're earning. So that's really the philosophy behind what we do.
Okay. And how do you support? Because I'm a little confused. In layman terms, if I'm a business and I come to Node Group and I want you to help me, survive, stay alive, thrive in the PR perspective or whichever Node Group perspective does it, how do you do it?
Yeah, because we as I said, that we believe that our target group, first of all, are small and medium enterprises.
Oh, good. They need that.
We also deal with government agencies. you've realized that government has started appreciating that there is need for PR and communication, that they also market themselves as government, and governments market themselves. We also, of course, work with corporate institutions and private sector, especially also non-government organizations. So when you come through to Node Group, and we first analyze and diagnose the issues that you may be facing in terms of communications, in terms of employee engagement, in terms of strategy, if you have a strategy, and then we help you make sure that you have solutions to the issues that you have, because these differ. I mean, I'm a small and medium enterprise who is a retail and wholesale, and my issues may not necessarily be as the same as a government agency. Okay. So we diagnose and see what are the issues, because issues are customized, solutions are customized to your issues. And then we sit on table, we interact and see how we can support you. Because you see, as I said, PR is limited with information and basic case studies. And the PR Fundi, the arm of Node Group, the training arm, we are trying to make sure that we archive this information, put it somewhere so that people can look at it and benefit from it, especially case studies of small and medium enterprises, government institutions that have gone through the same sometimes scenarios or crisis. How do you not repeat the same mistakes? Okay. Or how do we prepare ourselves to make sure that we mitigate those issues that come up?
Are these archives free, accessible to everyone?
No, we.
I want you to say yes.
For the masterclass,
yes.
we have a situation room where PR professionals come and discuss issues. Because of COVID, for the last from March, we've been having these situation rooms online. I think you've seen them. Yes, the virtual PR Fundi online classes, and they have been free, where we discuss these issues. But the online information that we're putting together in cases is yet to be put up, and it will be on prfundi.com. And that prfundi.com will be able to be subscribe. You subscribe and then get this information. But also you will be, for example, be a member. If you're a member of PR Fundi, then you'll be able to access this information. Okay. Yeah, for free.
I must say that the most I know about Node Group, until I had to do your profile, the most I knew about Node Group was the PR Fundi masterclasses. Yes. I feel like that part has gotten a lot of yes. But then also what I feel about it standing from the outside, I for some reason I thought that you needed to be a PR guru to be in these PR Fundi masterclasses.
Not at all.
What are the PR Fundi masterclasses? Who can access them? How? What do I learn if I join them?
Good. So the PR Fundi masterclasses, Damali, as I said, is a situation room where we discuss PR and communication. So these PR professionals that we invite probably have experience in PR, but we do not only target only PR professionals. We have different people that come in from non-government organizations, from CEOs, from the government, to listen and learn on how do you deal with the situation of that is related to PR and communication. PR and communication is broad, so we have scenarios and case studies that we discuss every month. So in a month we can say that we're going to discuss communication planning. How do you plan your communications? Or we are going to discuss PR strategy. How do you develop a PR strategy as an institution? But also sometimes we discuss individual handling of relating to people. You agree with me that if you're a CEO, if you're a CFO, if you're a leader at any level, you have to deal with people. PR is about dealing with people, the different stakeholders. How do you deal with them? So interpersonal skills is a given. It's not something that is optional. So and that's what we are trying to make sure that we be relevant to people's lives, so that they can understand that if you're to be a good employee, or if you're to thrive at your job, you must have communication skills. But before you communicate, you must also learn how to communicate effectively, because it's another way of communication. Yeah, how do you communicate effectively? So some of those tactics are shared by experts. And these experts have been very good at role modeling and being inspiration points to the others that are upcoming, and how do we inspire the next generation? So PR Fundi, in a nutshell, the masterclass part of it is.
So if I'm a regular person, Damali Ssali,
yes.
I want to, can I join into your PR Fundi masterclasses online and hear what these experts are talking about?
Absolutely, because they are free classes. Okay. But the online classes are free classes. Okay. And we've always put it on our social media platforms and invited people to come in. We have always had between 150 and 200 people tune in to listen to these experts and where they dissect different issues and different case studies. And people learn a lot. People learn a lot. And as I said, PR is part of life. You have to learn to do personal branding. How do you communicate effectively? How do you public speaking is part of PR as well? How do you live responsibly as an individual, but also as an institution? Responsible life. I think you've heard about corporate social responsibility. Yes. Those are some of the disciplines of public relations. So we want to make sure that these disciplines, first of all, do not die away, but also they become impactful and relevant to the business, to the brand, that the brand can come alive through these disciplines, but also apply them effectively. So
I feel, from what you're telling me, I feel like almost everyone needs these skills anyway, because you have to deal with people, period.
Absolutely. But mostly, of course, our core is to deal with those that are dealing in the business or in the sector of public relations. So those are the first priority that we need in the room. But I believe that PR is a part of life.
Okay. But since your PR, the virtual ones, are free and accessible to everyone, even regular people, because I've had a lot of people talk to me about, I attend a lot of women conferences. Yeah. And our biggest problem is usually the branding, the marketing, communicating. Because we, as females, we know a lot of stuff, but we are too quiet. Yes. We don't say it. Yes. And our problem is usually the branding. How do you start to communicate effectively and well? Yes. And I feel like my answer now should be, please attend the PR Fundi masterclasses when they're online, when they're available. Yes.
We have had, for example, we have discussed a topic of women in PR. Yeah, celebrating the women in PR, the women that inspire other women in public relations. So some of those topics are informed by the need, but also by the issues that are coming through from the members, that the challenges that they are facing, so that we use the same case studies and same experiences to inspire others. And yes.
How often are these?
The classes?
Yes.
The classes are monthly before COVID. We used to do them monthly, and we used to have close to 50 to 80 people attend the classes. So we go in a hall and we have a topic, PR strategy, and we discuss strategy, and we have case studies that we dissect. And we call ourselves PR Fundis. Fundi is from a Luganda name or Swahili name, because Fundi is a carpenter.
The person who actually does.
Yes, yes. So is in terms of Fundi, we fix public relations, and Fundi is usually a fix. Okay. So the Fundis come together with, and then the PR Fundi master, who is now our expert of the day, talks to them, and then we interact about an issue, and then we have a PR Fundi host, who is Ian Rumanyika, and I host these monthly, but also online. We've been doing them once in 2 months because of the timing that we've been having. Okay. Yes.
That's quite interesting. In a way, so what advice would you give someone? Because, COVID happened and it's forced people to communicate a whole lot more digitally. Because you can no longer easily hold a press conference and easily, do the things that we typically used to do. So what has been the change in the PR world in the COVID times? What has changed?
Wow, that's a brilliant one. Damali, COVID, no one expected COVID to come. That's for sure. But also we've learned that in the PR world, it is never certain. We live in a very uncertain environment. In fact, we call it VUCA. It's a volatile, uncertain environment. Very uncertain to what is coming tomorrow. But also we know that it's ambiguous. You can never define it. And as PR professionals, when we are talking about crisis management, is that when a crisis comes, you're prepared on how to handle it, but no one was prepared for this crisis.
No, this one, everyone was caught
this caught us off guard across board, either a businessman or individual, and for me it has been awakening for all sectors, either PR sector or entrepreneurs or businesses or government. It has been awakening. If you have not learned anything from this crisis, I don't think you'll never learn anything because this crisis has taught us that actually digital is not an option. It is a must. In fact, there's one, I think the Harvard guys have defined that, they usually say that there are two things that are certain. You know them?
No, tell me.
Death.
And taxes.
And taxes. So,
yes.
Two things that are certain, yes. Death and taxes. But they have added a third one.
What is that?
That is technology. The third thing that is certain is technology. So you must be able to dig deep and tap into the digital space. There isn't an option to that. If you look at, and I'm thinking that actually the digital space was hidden from us.
Until COVID?
No. We've been, of course, growing, but was hidden from us for years. I mean, the guys, if you look at the guys that have made it in life and rich guys, all them, the wealthy guys, they have been in digital. They control the world.
Amazon, Google.
Yeah. Just that they control the world. If they sneeze, we sneeze. And as I always tell you, that they don't pay that much tax. we need to make sure that they pay that tax. Yes. And so COVID has awakened so many businesses to make sure they tap into the digital space, but also use it to communicate effectively, but also at a much lower cost. You can communicate using a digital, transact with clients, and also make sure that they get the experience that you wanted them to get, and also measure what you do using digital. So digital space, everyone has to tap into that. It is no longer an option, and there are so many enormous benefits. If you use, for example, in our PR world, we call it digital PR. So how do you use social media? How do you use your websites? How do you use your electronic channels to communicate to your clients, but also to communicate to your employees easily? These days there's a work home model.
Yes, for people.
So working from home, how do you then tap into it's no option. You have to make sure that your employees, first of all, are communicating even when they're at home, but also they're reporting back what they have been able to do. Yes. These days, of course, we used to have landlines.
Now it's a mobile phone.
No. You if you're at home, you can use Teams. Even when you're in the office, you can use Teams to call. Using your computer, you call, touch phone, and you call, and you communicate. So there's so many opportunities that we need to make sure that we use to make sure we now move to being alive as businesses, cut down the costs, leave the survival mode, use the digital to be alive, and then from alive you can thrive after it. So digital space is a killer for our businesses. Yes.
So you just say, okay, now the three certain things in life: death, taxes, and technology. Also, Node Group provides digital media management,
yes.
At least from the profile I've read.
Yeah.
If I'm a company, I'm a business, and I'm thinking, okay, death, taxes, and technology are the thing. I'm a small, medium-sized enterprise, and I am not necessarily so digitally savvy, and I come to Node Group. What would I get from such a service?
First, we want to, as I said, we want to diagnose and say, what do you deal in? And how do you want to use it?
I sell coffee.
Coffee, good. UCD is my client. UCD is my client. Yes. So then, if you sell coffee, so we know that we can actually appeal to the elites. Using digital or using social media space to appeal to the elites about coffee and the beauty of taking coffee, and especially Ugandan coffee. So then we can create platforms and campaigns, concepts. We develop concepts with the client to enable them appreciate how do we use digital to appeal to the masses, but also communicate and talk to the stakeholders. In fact, you can also use digital to listen. It's a listening tool. Yes, listen.
I always think of it's you.
People usually push, but you can listen. Use the digital to listen to your clients. So you listen to your stakeholders. What are they saying? If they say the coffee is not that good, quality-wise, then we have some work to do. And we deal with the client and say, this is some work to do, and this is statistics and real-time information, real-time feedback. So digital is such a powerful space that we can use with the small and medium enterprise that has come through, and we support them to make sure that they use it, first of all, to listen, and sometimes even when you are ideating. Before
some people actually give comments which are ideas, which are points where you actually.
It's an ideation point. Before even you start getting ideas in your head and forming them and getting solutions without knowing what exactly are the needs, what are the issues, what are the problems of your audiences, you can use digital to first get and analyze what are the issues, then customize the solutions, the issues.
So you're addressing real
Absolutely.
issues. You're not thinking.
Yes, you've started a grocery, and for you think probably you have a grocery in Tinda, and people will come to your grocery. These days, you've seen people sit in their homes. People want the comfort in their homes, and you deliver to their homes. So how do you deliver? Is that you can use Facebook, you can use Twitter, you can use to communicate about what you have. Who knew that groceries will be online now? You get everything online. You're at home and you shop. You do the shopping. The usual day-to-day household items, you can shop them online.
I feel like as a small, medium-sized enterprise, if I'm even just beginning to set up, I feel like I need to get some information on some things I may not even need. Because like you were saying, if I'm thinking of setting up a grocery, maybe I could get some information from people in Tinder. I can do a small online figure out what would they prefer, coming to a grocery shop or stuff is
and what are their needs before even you stock.
In which case I may not even need a space. I may not even need an office. I may just need a warehouse kind of thing. Instead of paying high rent.
So it's the high time that in the Ugandan economy, but also as Africans, we jump into the bus of the digital space and maximize the benefits it has. As I said, sometimes we think this has been hidden to us for long, but thank God that we have been awakened now, especially because of COVID, and people are beginning to appreciate the reasons why we need to be on digital, the reason why we need to utilize the space to make sure that it benefits us, but also we use it to be relevant because you see, clients or customers are looking for a relevant business that solves their problems. If your business is not solving my issues or giving me the solution I need for my challenges, then it will not be alive. It will keep in the survival mode. And you know what survival means.
Survival doesn't mean you're barely breaking even.
Absolutely.
For years.
Yes, for years. And you keep stunted for quite some time. So how do you then bring your solutions alive? We all want to have an impact in the communities we are in. And we have these opportunities. And let's see, Damali, some challenges that we face as Africans or as Ugandans is that we want to do it ourselves.
Alone. I set up my business, I don't partner with anyone.
Yes, there's power in collaboration. There is power in seeking for guidance and expertise. Experts can guide you on doing this. I mean, you do not need to dive into something alone. You could get some guidance and see, how do I then do it? I'm a small and medium enterprise, but I'm online, I'm on Facebook and so on. You're doing, but did you first get an expert to guide you on what you need to put there, but also content. The content matters. What content the clients are looking for, your target market. What kind of content? How do we help you generate that content? Put content that is right, and then make sure that we use those 6 months to put you in the alive bracket than using 10 years to keep on the survival mode.
Because what I've also found is a lot of people now, of course, technology death taxes and technology. Technology has enabled people to say, I have a business, but then I just advertise it on Facebook and then get some orders, which then I can fulfill. But I haven't gotten any expertise. And I feel like, you know what, I can do it. We have Google, what is it called?
Google Analytics.
Yeah, Google Analytics. We have Google My Business. We have, the Facebook. So why do I need this expert who I'm going to pay money for when I have all these other bits of information?
Yeah, because as we said, the clients want you to have solutions to their needs, and you cannot dream or give them solutions that are not customized to their needs. So digital, and because they're experts that have already taken time to study and learn and have better solutions for you, you can even analyze and know who is your target group. For example, if Damali is selling vitenge and is targeting women, what digital helps you is to use machine learning or artificial intelligence to know where the women are. And then make sure that your content is targeting the women. And which age bracket? Are they 25? Are you looking at 30? Are you looking at our mothers? Then you also zero down to the exact tag. So you find it is making your life easier than you just posting content and information for the general public to see.
And then it moves you from survival mode to thriving mode.
Thriving mode, faster.
So you're saying anyone who is already online, already on Facebook, who is already doing their business and that's how they're doing it, they still need a certain amount of, expert knowledge to get them to the next level.
Absolutely. And Node Group is there to help you do that.
But then that was driving me to my next question. Is that something, is it a service that is affordable to someone? I sell my vitenge on Facebook, yes, I'm online already, like you just said, but I don't know if I can afford the expertise of Node Group.
Yeah, you see, the beauty with it is that it's customized to you. It is depending on your size of business, but also depending on your need. As I said, we diagnose and see how do we help you, even if you're a small and medium enterprise, even if you're a government. But also the beauty with it is that you keep doing it yourself.
Okay. Yeah. So I also learn the capacity so I can move on even after.
You build your capacity so that you can keep doing it yourself. You can boost your information. You can develop your content that is relevant. I mean, you have to gain the skill along the way and make sure that continuously you learn from the game, but also do it yourself thereafter. So you don't need to rely on Node Group for forever.
Because I know consultancy firms have that, that bad rep. They give you just drip information where you actually can't survive without them.
No, not at all. And that's what probably makes us different as Node Group. So we want businesses, especially the small and medium enterprises, to know what they have to do to survive the digital space. And as I said, there's no option. Everyone has to tap into the digital space. You have seen telemedicine. I mean, I have. You're at home and they come take blood samples, they test you, they treat you there and then. You don't need to move to the hospital. So COVID is a blessing in disguise of sorts that we are awakened to the reality of life, to know that you don't have to hire office space sometimes or big office space. You just need a small office space to be able to transact with your clients. And people are working from home and it's normal. So yes, we're learning a lot from the digital space. Yeah.
So if I'm a large company, because one of the things Node Group is providing research. What kind of research do you provide for, say, a large company in that aspect?
Yeah. For example, we've just done a baseline survey for an NGO to find out if the refugees in northern Uganda are satisfied with the services the NGOs are giving them.
Interesting.
So yes, we do. We have listening tools that we use to listen to what the stakeholders are saying. So if a company, for example, especially PR and communication, wanted to do a PR strategy or communication strategy, we first do a survey to know what are your clients or stakeholders saying. Or if you want to know satisfaction levels of your clients, we do a client satisfaction survey for you. Or you want to know how your brand or reputation is doing out there. Is it in the survival mode? Or is it alive? Then we do a brand health survey to see what is, how is your brand performing? And you see the beauty with research. and surveys, they help you make informed decisions. Most times we struggle with making decisions and coming up with strategies that are not working.
They're not responsive to, okay.
We launch, we are quick at launching strategic plans which are not informed by research. So it's very key in our, especially in our field, PR and communication, that we research, we go back and evaluate what we have done and measure our success. When we measure our success, then we know that we have done either a good job or a bad job. So, and we can help you also measure your success. You've done a campaign, okay? It's friends with benefits. But we have to know if friends with benefits had real impact
to your target group.
To what you wanted, because you had maybe 5 or 3 objectives. You wanted to achieve this, you wanted to achieve this. So want to measure against your objectives.
Did it?
Did the campaign really do what we wanted? And if it did, well and good. What do they suggest? If it didn't, what are the recommendations? How do we do it better? So research is such a powerful tool in everything we do, but most especially in PR and communications and marketing, because most times organizations, strategy plans, campaigns, in and out, campaign, but you never find you in the alive and thrive mode. You're keeping in the survival mode because probably you have not gone back to evaluate and research before you make solutions. So it's very important.
You just talked about campaigns, and for some reason my brain straight went into now the political campaigns. And I'm wondering if a politician could have come to Node Group and said, you know what, I want you to assess my brand in my constituency right now, before I set campaigns, and then help me design a campaign strategy that addresses those, that is responsive, so that then I can do my political campaign.
Yeah. If that politician came to us, they will be alive by now, but also they will be seeing the thriving part. And that's a beauty with using experts to give you knowledge and to know what you're supposed to be doing. Because you've seen politicians, outside here, USA and where, they inject a lot of money in this.
They do a lot of research.
Yeah, they do a lot of research. They know what they're going to say, at when, and how they're going to say it.
Because when you got that this is the word that resonates most with it.
If you got Florida, it will be very difficult. It's very different. The campaign message you will be probably passing on Florida may be different from the people in Los Angeles. So it is informed. And this is what our politicians are. Our politics is still young. We are in scientific campaigns. Yes. How do you position yourself? You know?
How do you use digital?
Yeah. And for example, there are clients that we have helped position themselves in media placement and buying. You know, you wake up one day, you want to do a campaign or you want to communicate, and you're saying Radio 1, Radio 2, Kabozi, CBS, so on, Capital Radio and so on. But what's your target group? What's your challenge? What are you trying to address?
Do you need this radio station when it's not?
So do you, yes. Okay. So if I'm in Kampala, do I need Radio West? So this is the expertise that we want to bring to institutions. That, first of all, it cuts your costs because you know that you're not going all over and you're not doing things haphazardly. There's a plan, but also that plan is informed by your need. And that need is informed by
research.
The need of the client, which you use research to get. What's the need of your client? What's the need of your audience before you find solutions to it? So if you're a politician, will you be on every radio? I mean, will you, what matters? How do you make sure that your target group, who votes in that?
I know, I was about to say that probably if I'm a politician.
Who is your voter?
I probably want me on these elite radio stations.
Yes.
I want, the
who is your voter?
Radio station.
What do they want to hear? Okay?
Yes.
I mean, you will pump in money and pay them, but you will lose. Because you're not using the right approach. And that approach can be given to you by the expert. So as we grow, I know we are growing, and I know that there are politicians that have really used that kind of expertise. But also as we grow, I believe that we will continue to learn on how to deal with that.
Okay, so have you been in this industry for a period of years now? Where do you feel is the country at in terms of peer? Of course, you're doing these masterclasses. You studied this because you felt there was a huge gap. Do you feel there's been any progress?
Yeah, I want to be optimistic, and I know that as we grow, there are challenges, basic challenges that we have faced. We're still in the survival mode, unfortunately.
We're not alive yet?
We're not alive yet, no, not at all. Not for the PR and communications sector. We've been at it. We've been trying to make sure that we be alive. Government, I'm glad that government has started appreciating the need for PR and communication. If you realize, most ministries, departments, and agencies have actually communications people. And even local government has started putting communication people to help them, have communication plans, community engagements, stakeholder engagements. How do we deal with the community? And if it's a community in Kasese, is it the same way you communicate to a community in Tororo? You get it. What are their challenges? How do you craft content and how do you make sure that you select platforms, the right platforms? You may be on Facebook and you think you're communicating to the people in Busia. It may be different. So, yes, I'm glad that there is appreciation of need of consultants, first of all, or experts, to help institutions grow in this. But also, there is a large appreciation that PR should be in the boardroom. I mean, you've seen some PR professionals sit with the directors and discuss issues in the boardroom, but it's not yet there. Just like we always discuss women in the boardroom. We are not yet there.
The women are not on the table.
Yes, they are not on the table. So we want to say, if women are not on the table, there's a challenge. But also, if PR and communication professionals are not in the boardroom, there is also a big challenge. How do we make sure that we reach there? That's why I said we're still in the survival mode. But I'm optimistic.
You're glad that we're kind of on the right course?
Yeah, sure. The struggle we're in as agencies, as PR professionals, to make sure that we remain relevant. Okay? And for us to remain relevant, we must be result-oriented. We must bring something on the table. When you go to the senior management team or executives that you're dealing with in that institution, what they want to see is solutions and results to their challenges they are facing. How does PR bring in revenue? We speak revenue. I mean, I've started a company. I'm Simba Telecom, Vitatule. What he wants to see is revenue grow.
That's the number one.
So when you're saying PR, when you're saying branding, when you're saying stakeholder engagement, how is it?
Increase your revenue by.
You don't just say.
It should.
It should be able to bring in revenue. And it's possible. Because you see, everything we do, I say, it's about relationship. So my last word is really that this is possible. We have all the skills, we have all the wisdom, and we can thrive together.
Great. Thank you so much, Ian, for those words. Actually, it's interesting where you're saying we're in survival mode, but if we lift each other up, actually, we can need to start thriving. And if it's one ecosystem and we're all thriving, we all benefit. So it is, in fact, a win-win. So thank you so much. If you're viewing, please do access Node Group. They have a lot of PR resources that are available to learn from individuals to small and medium-sized enterprises to corporates, actually. Absolutely. So everyone needs it, especially now in COVID time. Otherwise, please do subscribe to my channel. It's Damali Ssali on YouTube and on Facebook. Thank you so much.